All right, the first thing you want to do, the most important thing, is to set up the proper angle on the Crumb Master. You'll notice on the bottom that there are two wedges held on by a couple of screws on the bottom and or the top. And that's because crown molding comes in 3 different spring angles.
The spring angle is the angle that the crown sits at from the wall. It's either 38 degrees, 45 degrees, or 52 degrees. So how do you know which wedge to use? It couldn't be easier. Just sit the crown into the jig, then take anything with a 90-degree angle on it, like paper or what I like to use as a business card, and hold it up to the crown. If it's 90, you're good to go. If it's not 90, remove one or both of the wedges until it is.
And of course we've made that easy too. To remove both wedges, you use these top screws. To remove the bottom wedge only, you use the bottom screws. As is, the jig is set at 38 degrees. You can quickly see here's our crumb molding. This is the part that it would attach to the wall, or in our case, the face frame of the cabinet, okay? And we need to take a business card or whatever you have that's 90, as long as you know it's 90, and look at that. That's not working, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, it's not very far off, so I'm gonna just take the bottom wedge off, and that should true us right up. You can see we even marked it bottom, so in case you have to take both of them off, you can't get them confused. It can only go one way. I like that about a tool. And that's it. Comes off super easy. Set that aside. Now let's take our 90. Oh, and look at that. Perfect. That's what we're looking for. Now, point of interest, just in case, let's just say it was like that, okay? Let's say no matter what we do with the wedges, you know, you just get the one that's closest. Now, what I could do, if I needed to, because here's what happens. When they cut the crown molding, sometimes whoever's cutting that day didn't true up the saw correctly, things get a little wonky, and all of a sudden this cut is not a perfect 38, 45, 52, maybe it's 37. Okay, well, we just roll with the punches. If I needed to, I could take a business card or some tape or anything and tape it to the bottom of the jig to give me a little extra. Easier to add than to subtract, so you just figure out how many wedges you need, and so that you can add a little piece and tape it on there, so you just use it for the whole job if they're all like that, and you should be good to go. Real easy to ad-lib in the field. These 2 thumb knobs allow you to open and close the jig, so you can set your crown in there, different thicknesses. And of course there's felt on the inside to keep the face of the crown safe while cutting. All right, let's make some cuts. First thing you need to know about the Crumb Master is it fits in the saw just like that, straightforward. And when I'm beginning, I usually just loosen these up all the way, and I slide this slide all the way out, and I'll probably just almost tighten one of them until I slide my crown down in there. The other thing I want to tell you is that with the Crumb Master, the thing that makes it so special is that just the way the crown goes on the wall, that's how it goes into the jig, just like that. The Crumb Master is going to add a little extra height, so you need to readjust over here so everything is in there. You don't want it sitting like this. You want it on the bottom of the jig, flush all the way across. That ensures you get perfect cuts. I just want to show you what I'm talking about. You see how we have the extra height here because of the jig, but notice that the crown is sitting flat on the bottom plate of the jig all the way across. That's what's important, okay? Now, let's go ahead and tighten these jaws up just a little bit. Now, we're not going to tighten them. It's just stuck, okay? The only thing I'm tightening are the thumb nuts. I just barely want it to touch so it doesn't wiggle around in there. Why? Because I want to be able to take my crown molding in and out without effort. I don't want to have to loosen it after every cut. Okay, as far as cutting positions, this is for an inside cut, right-hand corner. If I wanted to make an outside cut on that same right-hand corner, I would just rotate my saw in the other direction, and the Crumb Master would stay on the same side of the saw. You can move it to either side. I'm right-handed, so I choose to cut on the right-hand side most of the time. And of course, this would be a left-hand outside corner. Use my stock.
And one final note. If you typically mark your line on the back of the crown, how do you see that line if you're cutting right side up? Let me show you how. You can see our cut line here on our crown. I want to make another little mark just above that on the angled portion of the crown. Now when I set it in the jig, I simply look over the top and I line the laser up with my mark. You see, today just about every miter saw sold comes with a laser. They tell you exactly where the blade is going to cut your material. So most likely you'll have a laser on your saw. If not, you can get one from us for about $25, and installation's about as easy as changing your blade. And today's lasers offer absolute accuracy on every single job on the chop saw.
By the way, you should always glue your mitered cuts, otherwise they will come apart through expansion and contraction. You don't want to see any gaps up there. We use the 2P10. I think it's the best ever made. We sell it on our website. And when you put the pieces together, just be very careful, because once they touch, you're not going to get them apart. You'll break the wood first, so you got one shot. So I sit them on a flat surface, put the tip together, and then I just bring the two together until everything lines up perfectly. Well, I hope this has been helpful. As always, you can reach out to us if you have any questions or any difficulties whatsoever. Just give us a buzz at the number on the screen or email us, and we'll be happy to help. So we thank you, God bless you, and happy installing.